IPP prison sentence. In brief, explain what it is.
So IPP stands for indeterminate for public's protection. It's 99 years. You do not get released until deemed fit, and you jump through all these hoops. You were brought in, obviously, for serious offending, so serious violence and sex offenders. And I know when I went to do my pre-sentence report, the probation said you have 10 points. There's 10 things that have to tick to get this IPP. Obviously, I got it and I knew it, but they would then start getting people who were car thieves, twat,
Taking a mobile phone,
theft,
pincing a push bike.
yeah. So there's all these
Non-violent street robbery.
Yeah.
In other words, low risk crime.
Yeah.
Low tariff, under 3 years.
Yeah.
People been away for 13, 15,
Longer.
20 years now.
So I know America had it, they scrapped it, and we brought it in. It wasn't, nobody knew, you know, we spoke about this earlier, that when Blunkett came out and said, biggest mistake in my political career.
Labour MP?
Yeah, the biggest mistake I made in my career was the IPP, because he brought it in. They were just giving it for stupid things, and people are still in.
Right, for me, if it was used what it was designed for, people who commit acts of terror, violence, and, you know, the worst things to kids and women, and super violent individuals, about managing risk, then all good.
Brilliant.
But judges started handing it out like sweets. Did they not?
And so how I got out, so I were different, and I don't know, just a lot of you viewers will have heard you to mention this on one of your previous videos. So I think I was the one. Well, I'm hoping so.
You are.
I hope it weren't my ego thinking he's talking about me.
No.
So I didn't, like I said, I didn't sit in a classroom and do any offending behaviour.
You got a 10-year, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you got out at your first parole.
Yeah. So I'd been, like I said, I got another violent charge while I was in, an outside charge. And then I started to work on myself.
Right.
So I got it, and the day after I got it, I'm like, you know, nothing's happened. Like thinking I'm going to have this parole on this date. The SO, Mr. Whittle, an amazing man, he's passed on. And I were a lot bigger than what I am now. So he used to shout, I were a cleaner on surgery, fat lad, proper Wigan accent. So he's showing me, he's going, fat lad, come here. You can't do that now because of PC and to be people complaining.
Yeah.
So I go down and he's like, what happened yesterday? So I told him, he's like, so when I said, well, I got this parole date, and he's like, look, and he pulled up my record on computer.
99 years.
Sentence 99 years. Oh, like, shit. So I came out, and there were a lad, Wayne, family friend, done a lot of jail, a lot older than me. He was in his 40s then. He's pulled me in his cell. Because I think the staff had said, have a word, see if you. He's like, so we're talking and all that. And he says, I want to give you some advice. What's that? He said, be who you are. What do you mean? He said,
Was this another con?
yeah, this is Wayne. Done a long time in jail, you know. And he's saying, carry on how you've been outside. And I said, why? He said, because people are coming in, keeping their head down, doing every course, come for parole, they don't get it. The reason they don't get it, they're violent. You're a violent man outside. So if you come in and keep your head down and you do nothing, they're going to be like, he's pulling the wool. Do you know? He said, so be who you are. If you end up changing, great. But if not, and that's what I did. So for the first 6 years, I was like, do you know?
If it's on, it's on.
I'm never going home. Well, I didn't believe I was going home, so I didn't care. And then when Mr. Goodridge come into my life, it all changed. Now, I did do a lot of one-to-one work. I don't want people to think, oh, he did nothing and just got out. The one-to-one was probably more intense than in a classroom. And it were hard. Them 3.5, 4 years were hard at looking at who I was. And that's why a lot of people are in now, because they keep their head down. They do all these courses, but the pro board are not seeing the real person, because they're like, well, you're like this outside, but when you're in prison, you're doing this.
I just spoke with a lad now who's IPP, and the advice he gave was to do everything. We did talk about it, but he said, I would say, do everything you can, do all the coursework, everything you can, everything you can. And I went, hold on a minute. No, At point and fight, there was a lad. He got 2.5 years. He had a file. Most courses 2 or 3 times he'd done. If there were a course spare, a place on a course, he'd done them over and over again.
Yeah.
Not a chance. He did 9 years him.
Yeah.
Model prisoner, enhanced prisoner, cleaner everywhere he went.
So they think you're manipulating them because you're not being who you actually are. You have to be who you are. But you have to be like that anyway, because if I'd have gone in and done everything, done all these courses, didn't get in trouble, I might have got out, but I wouldn't have changed who I was. No. I wouldn't have had to dig deep and really look inside. We're all different, and I'm probably the only one who's done it differently. But it still worked. It still meant a change. I had to look inside, because I can go in a classroom, and that's what the parole board see. They see it, that anyone can go in a classroom, sit there, not speak, toss the hour and a half away, come back the next day, do that for a couple of weeks and get a certificate. Parole board, they're not interested in them courses.
I'm not.
They want to see actual change, proof that Sean came in, he still where he was, I was using drugs, I was drinking, committing violence, just doing who I was, and then, oh shit, look at where he starts changing there. Why did that shit? And they see it. You need to evidence who you are and not do what everyone says. Do all these courses and keep your head down. No. If you want to change, you have to show people who you are, whether it's good or bad. You can't change until someone says, we need to work on this. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm completely with you.
So, and that's, but, and I don't want to, I'm going to be careful what I say. I don't want to say anything that gets me in trouble with probation. The biggest reason that this is taking its time, because I know they've said to me, I'll receive a letter. I've been out so many years. I'll just get a letter and that's
not
it.
in trouble.
No.
You'll have no supervision or anything. No. You'll be done.
Yeah. Just get a letter and that's it. Reason they're dragging it is these 2,000 plus that are in jail that have been in for 15, 20 years.
Not seen the light of day.
Who've only got a 2-year
tariff.
They're going to have a lot of mental health problems. There's going to be a lot of...
They're keeping people in because
they're frightened of releasing them.
They're letting them out
with nothing.
A lot of them have spent time segregation, solitary.
Yeah.
I know a few people who've got out because they've ended up being sectioned and they've got out via hospital.
Yeah.
Which is way easier. I'm not saying it's easier than prison. But it's coming to a head now, isn't it? People have been lobbying and campaigning.
Well, it's out there now. They've kept it quiet. You know, people have been lobbying for years, but they've been able to suppress it, keep it down. They can't do it now. So now they go 2,000 people, just say half, and that's probably being good. Half of them have got serious mental health problems, not through their own fault. Yeah, their own fault because they're in prison, but because of the surroundings. And then all of a sudden, they're going to release them all with nothing.
And, you know, you're in court, you're here 2.5 years, you get to prison, it says 99 years. 10, 15, 20 years later, you're still inside.
And you give up hope.
Robbing a mobile phone or a push bike.
Yeah, and you give up hope.
Bearing in mind that there's people now walking away from court, not receiving prison sentences who are the worst of the worst. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because prisons are full.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sickening.
It is. It is. So, and that's how I got out, just being real. And like I said, them 3.5 years were horrible because the probation officer, my inside probation, she weren't letting me go anywhere. She would challenge. We'd sit there and it was challenge. You know, this is how you are. This is what, and it's horrible. It's horrible for people to tell you the bad things about yourself. You know, and then when you do start looking, and I was looking in the mirror and just thinking, who am I? Who am I? And this is genuine. I still don't know who I am. And that's weird at 39 to think,
because, you know, you're a young lad, well-mannered, brought up to respect people.
Yeah.
Life-changing event. You won't be first and you won't be the last, sadly. And suddenly, you know, you're out there, you're doing drugs, you're violent. You probably, you know, wasn't who you were meant to be.
That's not who I am. You know, who I am now, and it's who I've always been. But I had these issues that just made me tick a certain way. But again, on that IPP, and what people don't realise is as much as I say I deserved it, and I did my tariff and got out. It's still been hard to, now I'm back in my old area. See, I came out, I were here a few months, and then I were off. So I haven't been in my old area. I've been away from a lot of my family. So now I've come back. It's so hard to know, where do I fit in? Even though I'm an uncle,
saying this other day,
I'm a great uncle, because they've had kids, so I'm a great uncle.
You feel like you don't belong.
I've struggled these last.
You feel like you don't belong.
Yeah, that I don't. Not that I don't belong, but like, and all the family that I'm around, like you've just met my brother-in-law, my sister. If it weren't for them these last 4 months, I don't know, you know, where my mindset was. It really helped me. As you know, my brother-in-law, the job he does, so he can spot something. He's not afraid to challenge a behaviour but they've helped me so much, and it feels like
credit where credit's due.
Yeah, amazing, the support. Do you know, my nephews, they all, you know, they've all took me in, and I'm accepted. But it's like I've struggled it within myself. Of not used to having all these people around me. I'm not used to people wanting to help. Do you know, it's hard.
We're going to leave it there.
Yeah,
That's positive.
Yeah, it is.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on your toes, this. So come Christmas, I want to sit down here, rain or shine, and give a 6-month update of where you are. Now, the reason I'm putting it on your toes is because you've got a habit of taking off out here with your tent, not answering your phone, not answering messages, not speaking. Yeah, it is beautiful, but not speaking to people. Sean,
thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me back.
Christmas.
Yeah.
On your
Real Forage Podcast. Real people. Real stories. Real Forage Podcast. Real people.